Cheers, welcome. Sumo Summary Show for day 13. It is Friday the 20th. And some stuff happened today. So we got lots to talk about, not only in matches, but in off the dohyo news. Should we start with that? Let's start with that. The big news today is the retirement of Takakeisho. The Ozeki, facing demotion into the rank and file, has decided to hang it up. And I'll talk more about it in the wrap-up video. I'll gather some information about his career, and we can look at his Wikipedia page and stuff like that. But yeah, that is the big news today. They sprung it on us right as the bus show was finishing around 6 p.m. And of course, my Sumo Twitter feed is ablaze, and I retweeted a bunch of stuff. So if you're following me over there, the link is down in the description. You can see footage and reactions and stuff to that happening. But yeah, not too huge a surprise. His neck is just not allowing him to compete at the level that he would like to compete at. And he doesn't want to grind it out in the rank and file. So I respect that. I think he's only made an announcement. I don't think there's been the press conference yet where he formally announces it. That might be tomorrow. That might be after the bus show ends on Sunday. I'll try to keep you abreast of what's happening there. But yeah, big change in the guard at the top. We know it's going to happen for Teruno Fuji sooner than later. And we probably will have a new Ozeki in November. So it's just a matter of time before we have a lot of new faces in the top of the ranks. Okay, so let's share and get going here on what happened here on day 13. Hope you're having a good Friday. So Hokuto Fuji is going to return tomorrow on day 14. So kind of like Tsurugisho, he only stayed out for a couple days, and he will try to come back. And I think he can still get his Kachikoshi. I think he's at 6 wins. So if he wins day 14 and 15, but I don't think he's in any danger of demotion. Shirokuma pulled out, the rookie, and down in Juryo, Mitoru pulled out at Juryo 7. And so we'll look at where they're at as far as wins and demotion, promotion type of situations with them. All right, so jumping into today's matchups, we'll start down in Juryo. So here is Mitoru. He's at J7 with 6 wins, so he's in no danger. He'll basically finish 6 and 9, and that'll drop him, maybe only down to like Juryo 9 or 10. So he's in no worry about getting demoted out of the division. Asakoryu got a 9th win, so having a very good tournament. He'll go way up the Banzuke in November. Tsurugisho came back but didn't get a win today. So, but again, he's at Juryo 7. He's got 5 wins. He's fine. Kaio in his debut at Juryo 14 got the win to go to 9 and 4. So again, having a great tournament. A bunch of guys here at 6 and 7. If you're at 6 and 7 on day 13, that means you got to win Saturday and Sunday both to get your Kachikoshi. So they're setting themselves up. Aoyama kind of doing what I said he needs to do, which is, even though he's got 8 losses, if he can go 7 and 8, he'll stay in the Juryo division. So if he wants to keep wrestling, that's what he's got to look to do. And then as we get into the top level matches, Takeda Fuji maintains his lead. He's at 12 and 1 now. He beat Shishi today, who's at 7 and 6, needs one more win for his Kachikoshi. And Chiyoshima won in his final match of the day. He's now 10 and 3. So the only way that this plays out where they have a playoff is if Takeda Fuji loses both Saturday and Sunday to go to 12 and 3, and Chiyoshima wins Saturday and Sunday to go up to 12 and 3, and then we'd have a playoff. But if Takeda Fuji wins tomorrow, and we'll look at who he's fighting tomorrow in a moment, then he's sealed the deal, right? He is the Yusho champion. And with a 13-2 or a 14-1, he might get promoted all the way up to the top division. And Chiyoshima just cementing his, re-promotion back up and trying to keep his hopes alive that he might win the Yusho if Takeda Fuji, if the wheels just come off completely. All right, and Juryo 2, Toki Hayate got a 9th win. So Juryo won. Where's the other Juryo? Oh, he might be fighting in the top division. Oh no, the other Juryo one's Ono Show and Juryo 2 Shishi. Yeah, so Shishi to get promoted, first of all, he has to get his 8th win, and then we have to kind of see who's going up and who's going down, right? Okay, jumping into the top division for day 13. Oops. Let's have a look. So Shirokuma pulled out, and absolutely, with only 4 wins at M16, he's going to get demoted back down to Juryo. So that's unfortunate for him in his debut. Takada Fuji, the recipient of the free win. Onokatsu, though, in his rookie tournament, got a win at M14. So he's already got a Makikoshi, but he could, if he can win and at least get a 6th win. So either go 6-9 or 7-8. I think he'll stay in the top division. I don't think they'll demote him all the way back down. Ryuden got 1 step closer to Kachikoshi, as did Sadanaumi. Midori Fuji puts himself in position to get his Kachikoshi if he wins Saturday and Sunday. Kageyaki 1-12. So he's definitely going down to Juryo. We can start looking at, who are we losing? Definitely losing Shirokuma. Here's a Juryo 3-man that fought in the top division today, Tamashoho. But Shirokuma and Kageyaki definitely both going down. Nishiki Fuji, man, this guy can get lucky. So we'll see. At M17, you would think he has to win tomorrow and Sunday, but he's stayed in with a 7-8 before, so we'll see. Endo got his Kachikoshi today. So did Shirana Umi. Wakataka Kage went to double-digit wins and now is at 10-3 by beating Oshoma. Roga having to wait another day to get his Kachikoshi. Gonoyama getting a 5th win. Tamawashi in the perilous 6-7 position, needing 2 wins still. Got beat by Meisei. Ichiyamamoto increases his chances by going to 7-6. So Shonana Umi with only 3 wins, but at Maegashira 5, he was probably safe. Oho Wakamoto Haru, both men entered that match at 8-4, but Wakamoto Haru was the one to get the win to go to 9-4. Ura Tobizaru, really fun match. I put that up on the Patreon page. Ura now at 9-4. Now we'll talk about Ura again in just a moment. Tobizaru, obviously already a losing record, but now 4-9. Shodai went to 9-4 by beating Takanosho. Nishikigi maintains his 3-loss record by beating Hirata Umi. The Komusubi now is in a position where he has to win Saturday and Sunday. The other Komusubi Daisho got his Kachikoshi. He's now 8-5 by beating Takayasu. So he falls out of the 2-loss group down into the 3-loss group. Abi got a win over Koto Shoho. And then we had the big final 2 matches. Kirishima versus Hoshoru. It was a really good move by Hoshoru. Kirikaeshi is the Kimarite. He goes to 7-6. Still needs 1 more win. And he's got 2 tough opponents, right? But Kirishima now in the 3-loss group. So Wakata Kage is in the 3-loss group. Yeah, nobody's in the 2-loss group anymore. And Kotozakura versus Onosato. Spoilers, obviously, spoilers when we're watching this show, but it was really close. I put that match up on my Patreon page, so click the link down below as a public video. So for about 24 hours after you watch this video, go over there. You can watch it. You don't need to sign up. You don't need to become a free member. You can just watch it. And I figured people would want to see the slow-mo replays and stuff. It was very close. I was worried that Onosato's hand had touched down, but they ruled it a do-over, a tori naoshi, and they did fight again. And Onosato, I think Kotozakura was pretty winded by then, and Onosato won fairly easily in the rematch. So Onosato now 12-1, and it completely in the driver's seat. And that 12th win is 33 wins over 3 tournaments, which should be his promotion to Ozeki, even if he had a terrible final 2 days. Just the dominance of his first, week and a half in the Basho, I think has sealed his promotion to Ozeki. And so we're losing a Sekewake here. This Sekewake is getting promoted, so we only have Kirishima staying. So Daisho should be moving up to Komusubi, to Sekewake, and we'll have 3 Ozeki in November. And hopefully Terunofuji will come back, and we'll have a Yokozuna as well. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, so I was talking about Ura, and I said, remember that, because I think Onosato tomorrow has Hoshoru. And then Hoshoru will fight Kotozakura on day 15, right? So who is Onosato going to fight? And some people were saying it was going to be Takayasu, but now that he lost, rank-wise, you could say, well, who else is around, blah, blah, blah. I think it's going to be Ura. I think they're going to put Ura up against Onosato in the penultimate match on day 15. The crowd loves Ura, especially if he gets a 10th win tomorrow. And it would just be a really fun matchup for the final day. And if Onosato wins tomorrow, then the final day match won't even matter in a way because he will secure the Basho tomorrow with a win, right? Nobody can catch him. He'll be at 13-1. So the worst he can do is 13-2, and there's nobody left with 2 losses. So yeah, I think he might get Ura, but they won't reveal that tomorrow until after the Basho ends at 6 p.m. tomorrow on Saturday. Okay, so let's look at our leaderboard. Like I said, 12-1, and he's got a 2-win buffer. These are the 4 guys that have 3 losses, but they only get active if he loses tomorrow and Sunday, and one of them wins tomorrow and Sunday, or multiple people. So they have to keep winning, and he has to lose back-to-back days against Kotozakura, and we don't know. So I don't see that happening, but it could. So that's why they're still here mathematically. But like I said, tomorrow, if he wins his match against Hoshoru, he has secured the Yusho. Okay, Juryo, same thing. He's got a 2-win buffer. So if Takeda Fuji wins tomorrow, he secures the Juryo Yusho. And Chiyoshima is really the only one that can, possibly contest that. These guys are here, but they can't. He can't get 4 losses, so I don't even know why they're here in a way, other than they're doing really well. So why not put their picture on the page? And then we've already got guys who are winning their respective divisions in the lower divisions. These guys will have a playoff on Sunday. And these are the other 3 guys who have went undefeated in their divisions and are the champions of those divisions for September. Okay, last thing to look at is what's going to happen on day 14. Starting down in Juryo, they've got Aoyama fighting a guy from the 3rd tier division who's doing well at 5-1. They only fight 7 days down there, so a win would be 6-1, very good record, and he'll be up in Juryo. He's from Ukraine, and I think he's been in Juryo before. Let me check. No, this is his career high rank, so good for him. He's worked his way up from the bottom. Look at that. Just working. And 6-1, 6-1, 6-1, 7-0. He was the Jonidan champion. He was the Jonokuchi champion. Oh, wow. Jonokuchi champion. So a name to maybe keep an eye on. I don't even know how to pronounce it properly. I haven't even said it before. Aonishiki. Aonishiki. Nishiki. Okay, let's see who he's in stable with. Nobody. Okay, they don't have anybody in Juryo or Makuuchi in this stable. But it's the former Amanishiki, who's his stable master, a very long time wrestler in the top division for many, many years while I was watching Sumo. Okay, so back to day 14. So he comes up, oops, Juryo. He comes up to fight Aoyama. Aoyama really needs that win. Oh, we also have another guy from Makushita Nabatame. Now, this is an important match for him because he's 3-3. So this is his Kachikoshi match. So he has to beat Juryo 12, Kiruko to go up to 4-3. So that's an interesting one. Takeda Fuji all the way down in the first part of Juryo action. And I mean, he is ranked Juryo 11, but it's surprising. So he's fighting Kaio, who's 9-4 and having a great tournament. So I'll have that one on the channel for you. If he wins, he secures the championship. And Hakuoho needs a win on here on day 14 and day 15 to get his Kachikoshi. Fights Tomokaze tomorrow. And Shishi has Fujiseun. Both men are 7-6. So one of them will get his Kachikoshi tomorrow. And Chiyoshoma has Asakoryu in the final match of the day. Won't matter if Takeda Fuji wins, except to these two guys. All righty. Jumping up into the top division for day 14. Nishiki Fuji fighting a Juryo man, Toki Hayate, for his very important 7th win. Hokuto Fuji has Ryuden, Takada Fuji Tamawashi, the two oldest men in the top division there. Roga going for his Kachikoshi against Kimbozan. Ichi Yamamoto going for his Kachikoshi against Onokatsu. Kageyaki, man. All right, Midori Fuji in a must-needed win to go to 7 wins. Have a chance on Sunday for his Kachikoshi. Sadanumi against Chiranaumi. Wakamoto Haru going for double-digit wins against Koto Shoho. Ura has Atami Fuji tomorrow. Oho has Nishikigi. Then we're still not in the Sanyaku matches yet. Takanosho Meisei in a match nobody much cares about. Shonana Umi Tobizaru in another match. 3-10 going against a 4-9. Then we get into the top division. I'm sorry, the highest ranks of the top division. Komusubi Daisho against Wakatake Kage. That's a fun matchup. Shodai versus Hirada Umi. Hirada Umi in a must-win match for his Kachikoshi. Takayasu as Kirishima. And both men are 10-3. Then Kotozakura Abi and Onosato Hoshoru to see if he can clinch the Yusho here in the final match of the day. And note that both Kotozakura and Hoshoru are 7-6, so they both need a win. If you think Onosato is going to beat Hoshoru, that means Hoshoru has to beat Kotozakura on the final day, which means Kotozakura really wants to get that Kachikoshi win tomorrow against Abi, and you would think he would, but you never know. So a pretty fun lineup for day 14. And I'll have a bunch of those matches on the Patreon. And going over to the matches, the result standings, we have a new person in the top, Rick Kaho. So now Hoshoru, see, is equal to Kotozakura. So if you picked Hoshoru, you could be toward the top, and that's probably why we have 22 people now tied for second. But Quimby here, the reason I highlighted him is he's one of the only guys in all of these team-ups that pick Nishikigi. So it could come down to where Nishikigi, if he wins and Takayasu loses, that could mean the difference between first and second place in the contest. So that's really interesting. And then we have a couple people that have Hoshoru, like Dragon Fire here. Okay, and then the rest of their team is pretty much all the same as the other people. And the other thing that Quimby has going for him is he picked Onosato in the tiebreaker, and that is the correct person who got his Kachikoshi first. So yeah, big group in second place, and then a big group in third place. And yeah, Shodai is equal to Wakamoto Haru now. Oho's just one off the pace. Oshoma's still at 8, but Ichi Yamamoto, Sadanoumi, Roga, they could all catch him tomorrow. So it really could be still very up in the air, I think, who's going to win the channel contest. And I'm way down there. You don't need to see me. Okay. Anything else I was going to tell you? Oh, yes. Aha. Glad I didn't forget. So I'm hoping that's it for Sumo. This is more of a tech question than I'm just going to ask you, my audience, if you can help me with. So here is my old iPad that I record the matches on. So it it stopped working today. It said you have used all your memory. And I was like, I don't, how is that possible when uh I'm pretty good about going in. I film about 9 videos a day these days, and I go in and I delete them, and I go into the recently deleted and I erase the videos about every other day. So I'm freeing up space. And what I realized is when I went into my settings, okay, iPad storage, right? I'm gonna show it. I don't know if it's gonna really show up. Okay. So you can see this first app right here is Patreon. And it says, most things are, megabytes, right? The only thing that's not megabytes on here as far as an app is photos, 14 gigs of photos. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I have 128 gigs of storage, but Patreon says that it's using 77 gigabytes of storage. Okay, so yeah, that's not good. And so it says app size and then documents and data 77 gigs. So I am not that conversant with some technology stuff. So it says offload app, delete app. So my question is, if any of you know, I've uploaded the video off of this iPad onto Patreon. Patreon stores the video for me. Like they offered a new system on Patreon where it's hours, minute, each video is so many minutes long, and I've got tons of storage on Patreon. So the videos are on Patreon, they're being stored on Patreon. I don't need to keep them on my iPad. And in fact, I delete them out of my Photos app almost daily. But I guess they're being stored here on this iPad locally on the Patreon app. So how do I delete that 77 gigabytes, which is probably last bus show and this bus show? Do I just delete the app and then download it again? Is there something else I'm supposed to do? Is this offload app function something I should know about? So those of you who know a little bit about Mac or Apple, if you can either email me at jasonsumo2023 at Gmail or leave a comment on here. I'll try to check them. And if you can help me out with that, I obviously don't need 77 gigabytes of old videos just sitting on that iPad because that's why it stopped working in the middle of a match and it freaks me out. But luckily, I had hit the DVR because the medicine I'm taking makes me so sleepy. I was worried that I would fall asleep and not wake up or what, for the matches. And I was taping, and then literally right in the middle of the Hoshoru match, it stopped working, and I'm like, ah. And then I realized I was taping, so I was safe. But yeah, anybody that knows the answer to that question, thanks for helping me out. Okay, guys, that'll do it for tonight. Tomorrow, Saturday, maybe a live show for the wrap up. No, the summary show. Maybe again we'll do a live. If I I don't want to guarantee because I can't guarantee I'll stay awake and things like that. So maybe not. But anyway, I'll be back tomorrow night one way or the other, and I'll let you know if it's going to be somewhat different. And then yeah, then we have one more day after that, Sunday, final day of the bus show. So I think it's been pretty exciting. It's coming down to the end. A lot can happen tomorrow. So check back tomorrow. And yeah, okay. See ya. Thanks. Take care of yourselves. Bye.